Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. A couple of days ago, I got a chance to watch The Whale starring Brendan Fraser, so this is going to be my spoiler-free review of the movie. Before I tell you guys what I thought about it, let me know down in the comments, what did you guys think of The Whale, and what were your expectations going into the movie? For me personally, I was not very excited for this movie. I did not know much about it, did not even watch the trailer, and I only watched it because my friend was excited, so I watched it with him. And I have to say, I was pretty surprised by this movie. Now, like I said, I want to start off by saying I went in completely blind, had no expectations, did not even know what the movie was about. All I knew was Brendan Fraser was in it and Sadie Sink was in it. That's all I knew. And I have to say, I really did enjoy this movie. Because, like, it's not one of my favorite movies of the year. It's not a very, like, enjoyable film. Because it's a hard to watch. It's like there's a lot of themes in here that are really heavy and dark. And the movie in general is just very dark because of what it's exploring. So because of that, I don't think the movie necessarily is very rewatchable. I'm not going to go back and watch this like every day or anything. So it's not that kind of a movie, but I still very much enjoyed it for what it was. I really loved Brendan Fraser's performance. He definitely deserves an Oscar for this because out of every performance I've seen this year, he's definitely the best one. Before I would have said Austin Butler from Elvis, but right now, like, this is just insane. What he was able to accomplish in this film is incredible. It is easily, in my opinion, the best performance I've seen all year. And I really hope he wins the Oscar, or at least gets nominated, because he definitely deserves it. He's the most likable person in the movie. Everyone else is just, like, very flawed as characters. And he's flawed too, definitely. But he's just likable because you can see where he's coming from. Because throughout the whole movie, you're basically watching him, and the whole movie's about him. And whenever the movie's focused on him, is when the movie is at its best. I really loved the themes about just a father and daughter bonding. I thought that was very emotional, and because of that, it just had a very emotional core story going on in the whole thing. So because of that, it just kept me invested throughout the whole movie, and I never felt like I was not interested in the movie. I was always engaged with the story, and like I said, just really love Brendan Fraser's performance, and I think he did a great job of just giving such an incredible performance and making us buy into his character. I also liked Sadie Sink in the movie in a way. She's the most hateable person ever, and I think she just gives a great performance as someone that you can just hate. I do kind of feel like her whole character is just a more evil version of her character from Stranger Things, because in Stranger Things she's obviously a good person that went through a lot of trauma, and here she did go through a lot of trauma, and she does kind of act the same as Max does in Stranger Things, except she's a lot more evil. She does a lot more mean things in this movie than she does in Stranger Things. So in a way, I feel like she's giving the same performance as she usually does in that show, but I also think that in this movie, she was hateable. You look at her character and you just hate her, and I think that's kind of what they were going for. So because of that, I really liked her performance, and she was kind of a great villain, I guess, in this whole movie. Now the rest of the characters are kind of annoying because whenever they show up, I just feel like they were not nearly as good as Brendan Fraser was, like as performance goes, because they were always just annoying and they do a bunch of stupid things. So because of that, throughout the whole movie, whenever the movie was not focused on Brendan Fraser, I did not really like it. I feel like all the other characters were not really what the movie was supposed to be about. So whenever they were on screen, I just kind of felt like I kind of nodded off. It was mostly whenever we were watching Brendan Fraser or him interacting with his daughter. That's when I just feel like the movie was at its best. So whenever it wasn't about them, I feel like the movie was not as good. Now, I did say I really like the themes about a father and daughter bonding, but there's also themes about religion in this movie that I feel like were just all over the place. Now, I don't really care of what side the movie's on. It's just what doesn't work is that it's trying to explore kind of both sides of the story. So because of that, it's just so caught up in its own themes, because it's trying to show why religion is good, at the same time also kind of rejecting it. And I feel like it never gave a clear statement on which side it's on. So throughout the whole movie, it's just a bunch of back and forth about religion. And I just think whenever it was about that, I did not like it. I just felt like the movie was never actually able to express what its theme was about religion. Another thing that I personally did not like that other people seem to be okay with was the ending. That I don't think the ending of the movie was what I would have done. If I was directing this movie, I would have done something completely different because the way the movie ended, I think was just like for Sadie Sink's character, for what they were building up to, I just don't think that is what her character needed. And I'm not going to go into spoilers because if I go too detailed, I'm going to spoil the movie, and I don't want to do that. Go watch it yourself. But I just personally don't think the ending worked for me. Although I do think it was emotional, although I do think on a performance level, I think Brendan Fraser was great in the ending. I think Sadie Sink was. I think the performances at the ending of the movie was great. I just don't think on a story level what the ending did was really good. Another thing I liked about this movie was that I think it was able to show food kind of as a drug, and I think that was a very interesting perspective of watching food just Brendan Fraser eating a bunch of food and just kind of addicted to it in a way. And I think that was very interesting because it's not something a lot of movies show. And I think the way the movie treated food like a drug was very interesting. And it's something unique. I've never seen anything like that before. And I did really like that. So overall, I thoroughly enjoyed The Whale. It's not one of my favorite movies of the year. It's not like a 10 out of 10 or anything, but I did very much enjoy it for what it was going for. And I think it's definitely worth watching if you're like into movies like this that are dark but are very heavy with themes. If that's what you like, go check it out. And it's definitely an A24 movie, you can tell because of how weird it is. So I did really like it. And although it's not one of my favorite movies of the year, I still think the performances and the main plot and theme about this daughter and father relationship, I did really like that, and that carried the whole movie for me. So I'm gonna give this movie a B. On an entertainment scale, it's like a 6.57 out of 10. The reason I can't quite say 7 is because it is very heavy, and because of that, it's not a very enjoyable movie. It's not one I'm gonna be rewatching a lot, but I still feel like it was a good movie, and I did really like it, at least on my first viewing. So I really did like it. Probably going to lean towards 7 right now, but that might change later. But it's definitely a good movie. I definitely recommend checking it out if you like movies like this. But it's definitely not for everyone. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Let me know down in the comments, what did you think of The Whale? If you've seen it, if you've not seen it, what are your expectations for the movie? I'd love to know your thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.